What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for Delilah season 1 episode 3. So we start this episode off with Delilah going to visit her brother because she was like, you have lost your rabbit mind sending daddy over here to come and get your son. And she let her, she went off on him and was like, listen, you and your wife are playing tug of war with this baby, and I'm not going to allow y'all to do it. And he apologized. He said, listen, I was mad. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. And she was like, you damn right you shouldn't have done it. So once they got past that, brothers and sisters fight, they argue, they cuss each other out, and then they move on, right? So then we have Andre is actually supposed to be going home for a home visit, for them to check the ADA availability for the home. When I was in a wheelchair, I went through this. I don't know if you guys, some of y'all know my story, some of y'all don't. I was in a wheelchair for a couple of months, and we had to have these family meetings that we see later on in the episode, and I had to actually do certain things. I had to go out to the mall and go shopping and maneuver in my wheelchair so that they knew that I was okay to leave the hospital and all of this stuff. So this is kind of what it is now for me. Knock on wood, it wasn't permanent. But they didn't know whether it was going to be permanent or not. But for him, we know it's permanent. And so now we have to get into fixing up the house and making the house ADA compatible and everything like that. So he thought she was there for the meeting. He was like, the meeting is tomorrow. She was like, I know the meeting is tomorrow, but I need to talk to you about something. And so she asked him about his report from his accident. And he was like, yeah, I have a copy of it. He said, I've never really looked at it because, hey, it brings back too many memories. It's sort of triggering. So let me, I'll give you the report, but you go ahead and read it by yourself. I don't want to be around for that. And so she gets the report and she compares the report and she sees that there are some discrepancies. One report is saying that it was an equipment malfunction. Another report was like, we don't know what happened. And we see that both reports were signed by the same guy. Chief Officer Petty something. Pettigrew, Petty Gold, Petty something. Anyway. So she goes back to her office and she, talks to her staff, Miss Barnes and the other young lady. And she says, listen, this is what's going on. I need y'all to look through all of these reports and I need you to see, where the similarities are, see the signatures, all of the above, right? And so it's something we'll see later on in the episode. There is something with Miss Barnes and this assistant. I think Miss Barnes is connected to this girl somehow and she doesn't know it. What I mean by the assistant doesn't know it. Miss Barnes knows. Because we see later on in the episode where she sort of kind of starts asking her about her past and, oh, so you're from Ghana, well, I'm from here, my family's from here, and this is where we ended up, and this is this and this is that. And it's like, and the girl is like real irritated by it. She even ends up going to Delilah like, listen, like she keeps irritating me and I need her to leave me alone. Like she's asking me personal questions and she's irritating me. And then later on we see Miss Barnes sitting by herself eating food and she just starts crying. So there is something there. I don't know what's there, but I think there's some sort of connection between Miss Barnes and Delilah's assistant that we don't necessarily know. Okay, put that to the side for right now. So they're able to actually find some of these connections, and we see where this chief officer is even using some of the same language. Like they have all of these different reports that are saying the exact same thing, and so you can definitely tell that something don't smell right in Denmark, right? Something ain't right. Something here is not adding up. And so Miss Barnes is like, okay, so we about to sit out some subpoenas and some depositions. We ready to rock and roll. We got the goods. And Delilah was like, no, I need to talk to, she need to talk to her girl first, Tamara first. She said, I need to take this information to her because I know once she sees what I see, she's going to be ready to settle this. Like, it's going to be a matter of, rocking and rolling. So Barnes ain't feeling it. Barnes was like, she going to turn to the assistant and was like, oh, so is this how she lost the Jane Doe case because she too nice to people? Because she being way too nice. Of course, the sister wasn't trying to hear that. Sister gave her the side eye like, excuse me. So Delilah takes the paperwork over to Tamara. Now, earlier in the day, Tamara's boyfriend had called her, asked her when she was coming home from work, and she was like, "What you got up your sleeve?" He was like, I need to know. You gonna be home? Is that a hard 5 o'clock, or is that I might be home by 5 o'clock? She was like, "No, definitely, I'm leaving here. I'm on my way home." Baby, he done proposed. So Delilah gets there with this paperwork ready to talk business, and she is all excited because she engaged now. She's like, "Will you be my will you be my maid of honor?" And she was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes." And so of course she doesn't want to talk business, but Tamara know what's up. Like, she was like, "Girl, what's up?" And she tells her, she said, "Listen, this can wait till tomorrow. This is business. Celebrate, enjoy yourself. Like, this is." And she was like, "You already know that. I already know that. If you came over here, it's important. What's up?" And so she shares the information with Tamara, and Tamara was like, "Girl, if what you saying is legit, then yeah, you already know what it is. Like, we're gonna wrap this whole thing up." So she says, "I need to go back to my boss, and I need to, I need to give them the same I guess, the same chance that that you giving me by coming here talking to me. I need to go and talk to him. Like, I need to, make sure that everything is everything." Now, while this is going on, Mr. Pizza Guy then called Delilah to ask her out on a date. He got tickets to the Hornets game. She's a Hornets fan. She was like, "Listen, I can't make it, but maybe we can do dinner." So she was like, "We're going to do dinner." And she said, "I'll buy." And he was like, "Listen, far be it for me to tell a modern woman, but I'm paying for dinner." She was like, "Listen, I didn't want to pay for dinner anyway. I just thought I should offer since I made the suggestion of the restaurant, and the restaurant was a little, expensive." Men don't understand. We don't be wanting to pay for real. We be, okay. Anyway, so we see Delilah getting baby boy together, and of course he's asking about divorce, and are my parents going to get a divorce? Again, he understands. I mean, he doesn't understand the full extent of what's going on, but he gets that something is going on. And so, of course, Delilah is doing her best to be that buffer. She's doing that best to be the man. The woman, the auntie. Daggone, I can't get it out. The auntie that, she needs to be for him. So she ends up going to the family meeting down to the hospital with her brother. So the wife was supposed to be there. His dad came through, and her. Now, Daddy is there because Daddy is going to pay for all of the alterations to his house to make the house wheelchair accessible. So that's why Daddy's there, because, Delilah ain't feeling it. When she see her daddy, he ain't feeling it. Also, wifey don't show up. She claims she forgot. So they get into the meeting, and Delilah is me, okay? Her facial expressions, her affect, everybody know that she irritated with the fact that the wife ain't there. And, they end up getting into an argument during the meeting with, she ended up getting in an argument with him because she was like, "Listen, you can say what you want to say. You can feel how you want to feel. But at the end of the day, like I know this is some bull hockey. She ain't here because she don't want to be here. But okay, y'all want me to sit here and be quiet and pretend like it ain't what it is? Okay, fine." She ends up getting a phone call before she goes in there from her client, Leah. Leah then got a letter from the attorneys down to the corporation saying, "You need to turn in your laptop and you need to turn in your phone." And she was like, "Okay, well, I think it's a bluff. That she said, "It's my phone." She said, "Yeah, but do you have files or something on there that belong to them?" And she was like, "Yeah." She said, "Okay, well, listen, if you don't feel comfortable giving you, first of all, I think it's a bluff. I don't think they're going to arrest you because they said they were going to charge her with theft." She was like, "I really don't think they're going to do that. It's a scare tactic. But if you are afraid, then you can always bring your phone and laptop by my office. We'll clone everything that's on it, and then you can turn it in, right?" But Leah is very hesitant, and Delilah is like, "Well, what's going on? Like, what? Tell me what it is. Why are you so hesitant? Is it something you're not telling me?" And she was like, "No, but you can tell it is. You can tell there's something going on with this phone laptop situation, okay?" So her daughter asked, "Can she not go to dad's for the weekend? It's the time for weekend time, and she's supposed to go to the dad's." And she was like, "Well, why? Like, what's the big deal?" And she said, "Well, I have violin practice." She was like, you can go to violin practice for your dad's house." And she was like, "Well, his neighbors complain when I practice, and it's just easier for me to to be here so I can practice and do whatever I need to do." So we see her later on go to violin practice. And the violin teacher is not giving her no cut cards. I mean, she's being really hard on her, and she's telling her, "Listen, I need you to understand what you're playing. Like, you're just playing the notes. I need you to understand the notes. I need you to play those notes." And she said a third grader can play these notes because they understand it. And so of course she gets upset and she's crying, and baby was like, don't cry. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You're not going to sit here and start crying. What you're going to do is listen to what I'm telling you and understand. And she got better. Like, you could definitely, I mean, as someone who's not even trained, you could hear the difference from the first time she played them notes to the second time, to the last time she played those notes. But you definitely see that Miss Catherine is going to put her daughter through her paces. And yes, her daughter is gifted and she is good, but my job is to make her great. And so you see that hard, rough love thing. So Tamara ends up going to the corporation that is was it Campbell Corporation, I think? Osborne Corporation, that is in charge of the the radios. And she takes her concerns to him, like, listen, we have these discrepancies in these radios, I have these reports, what's really going on. I need to know what's up before, if we're going to keep, representing you, then I need to know what's what. And so he is real irritated, and he is really acting like, I don't owe you an explanation, and I don't have to tell you nothing. Like, that's sort of his attitude about it. But he was like, all right, fine. Since you want to know so bad, come with me. So they end up going to the warehouse, right? And of course, it's going to be a black woman. They're going to have a black woman do their dirty work. She sits there and does this whole presentation about how safe, because the thing is that they're saying that the radios are setting off the bombs. And so they did this whole presentation showing how the radios aren't really setting off the bombs, and look at the setup, this, and look at that, and pay attention. And I mean, so you still think we're lying? You still think we're lying about it? And Tamara was like you could see the look on her face was that she didn't really appreciate it. And she wasn't quite sure what her next move was. So when she gets back to work, she goes storming in her boss's office. She always storming in her boss's office. And he tells her, he was like, why would you go over there and question him like that? Like, he is our client. Our job is to defend him. Like, I'm not understanding why you going over there questioning him like you don't believe him. And she was like, I need to make sure that what they're telling us, I need to know how to defend this. So I need the information. If they're saying that this, because remember, the other connection to this is that this radio could possibly be connected to Delilah's brother's injury. And Tamara loves him like that's her own brother. So for her, it is a little different now. Like, yeah, okay, me and my best friend were going head to head, but now you're talking about that this could possibly be the reason why my play brother don't have his legs anymore. Oh, no. We taking this, it's been elevated here. So he tells her, he was like, listen, our client didn't really appreciate the fact that they felt like they were being questioned. And do you believe him now? Because he told me that he went through the whole thing. She said, But what I do understand is that they must have had some concern themselves because they had already done all of these tests. Which tells me you don't test something like this unless you have reason to believe there could be a problem. He says, listen, at the end of the day, this ain't even what this is about. This is about a wrongful termination. You told me you ain't even like this woman. You told me this woman was a liar, talking about Leia. Tamara was like, she is, and I don't. But this case is about wrongful termination. And if she was fired because she started asking questions about this equipment, whether it really malfunctions or not, then Houston, we have a problem. And he tells her, he said, listen, let me tell you something. Congratulations on your engagement. It would be really, really great for you to get engaged and make partner in the same year. I said, ooh. So, of course, now she's sitting there. So she ends up calling Tamara back and letting Tamara know, listen, we're not settling. We're moving forward. It's going to be what it's going to be. And so, of course, Tamara was like, well, congratulations on your partnership. Like, girl. So, that's where that is. So then she ends up telling Miss Barnes, file them subpoenas. We rolling with this. Later on that night, she ends up going on her date with Mr. Pizza Man. And he tells her how him and Tamara's fiance are really good friends, and he tells her all about the fact that he came over here from, I think, the Dominican, and he didn't speak any English, and his mom used to work for um that guy's aunt, and so they were in the same age group and they grew up together. And he taught him how he taught him English by watching cartoons with him, and then basically tell him how they became friends, and what he's done with his life and where he is now and everything like that. And so, because listen, Delilah was late for dinner, honey. He had to get it to go so they could eat it in the park. And they was getting ready to get them a good old kissy kiss in, honey. They was ready to get them a good old kissy kiss in. And then she got a phone call at the last minute. And that was the phone call she got from Tamara telling her, we not settling. We gonna move forward. Now down to the house. She gets to the house where her brother, her daddy, and the wife is there. And they're talking about what they need to do as far as the steps and the ramps and, everything that they need to do. And, of course, the dad, he's there because, again, he's going to bankroll all of this. And finally the wife is like, I can't do this. And they were like, you can't do what? She was like, I can't do this. I can't let you spend your money, spend all this money to change this house around on something that might be what? She said, I don't want to see you waste your money. So, of course, Delilah was about to go off. And they was like, girl, Delilah, chill out. Don't say nothing. And so she finally goes outside and she's talking to her dad. And she was like, listen, let me explain something. Like, that's my brother. Y'all keep asking me to hold my tongue and not say what I got to say and feel how I feel. And I see the writing on the wall and I see exactly what's happening here. But, okay, it's cool. Y'all keep living there. She said, at the end of the day, what you need to do is ask him about his friend, the one who was sitting up here when I came through here first thing in the morning, walking around in his robe. Like, y'all need to take y'all head out the sand and see what's really going on around here before we all end up in a worse situation that we in. But I tell you what, don't do it. Do what you gotta do. I'm out. Peace. Deuces. Okay? I don't know. I just feel like the only person... Oh, I'm lying. Let me rewind. The phone call she got while she was on her date, it was not from Tamara. Tamara had already called her and pissed her off. The phone call she got was from Leah. Leah was calling her because they found out she never came by the office to turn in her phone or anything like that. So you hear Leah in the talking, and she was like, I think she said somebody broke into my apartment. And so Delilah was like, oh my goodness, are you okay? What's wrong? She was like, I don't know. I can't tell if they took anything. And then you start hearing her go, wait a minute, I think somebody's still in here. And then you hear her saying, what are you doing here? What are you doing in here? And then that's where it ends. Now, let me say this. I felt like y'all moved a little slow in this. Because, Delilah, why you ain't calling 911? Why are you listening to her? Like, she literally had a whole conversation with somebody talking about something, what are you doing in here? Why are you here? Girl, if you don't hang up that phone and call 911 and get it real quick, like, girl. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments, please.